Hi guys, so this is the tutorial for chapter 11, number 12, the claim form for TRICARE. So we will walk through this together like we have the other claim forms that are a little bit more difficult. So let's see what we have here. So again, chapter 12. The first case is for a participating provider. The physician's standard fee is $350. The TRICARE fee is $265. So TRICARE is going to pay 80% of that. The patient will pay 20%, and the remainder will be written off by the provider. And so this is very similar to what we saw with the Medicare calculations. And so let me pull up my little calculator here. There we go. Put it over here in the frame. And so 350, oh, excuse me. So 265 is the approved fee. Take that, multiply it by 80. That's going to give us $212 here. I cannot type this morning. It's been a struggle this morning. Bring this, my little calculator back up. I don't know what is going on with my calculator. Let me find my calculator. Sorry. Okay, so there is 20%, so then 265 times 0.2 is going to give us 53 over there. And then the write-off amount is going to be the difference between the charged and the approved. So the charged was $350 and the approved was $265. So that's going to give us a write-off amount of $85 there. So we'll put those in there. So that was 53 and 85, right? I can't make these go. I don't know what is going on with my stupid thing. Okay, so we have for the next one, we have a, sorry for my technical difficulties this morning. I'm too tired to battle them. Okay, so for the next one, we have non-participating provider, but one who accepts assignment. So this is going to be calculated out much the same. And just so I don't have to keep trying to figure out where my calculator disappeared to, we're going to do all of the math at once, okay? So the physician standard fee in this case is $285. The TRICARE fee is $165. TRICARE is going to again pay 80%. The patient will pay 20%, and then there's going to be that write-off amount. So 80% of 165 times 0.80 or 0.8 is going to give us 132 over there in the 80% that TRICARE is going to pay. And then you can figure out the 20% one of two ways. I like to just go back and take 165 times 0.2, but you can also take 165 minus the original 132, whatever is easier for you. Either way, it's going to end up being $33. So that's going to go over there. And then lastly, again, the write-off amount will be the difference between the approved amount, the charged amount and the approved amount. So the charged amount was $285, but the approved amount was $165. And so that's going to give us $120 there. So I'm going to put my amounts in here. I think that was 132. I think this was 33, right? And then this is 120, not 12. Okay, and then lastly, this is much like the Medicare limiting charges that we did. My stupid thing. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't get my crap together. Okay, so this is much like Medicare over here. So with non-participating providers who do not accept assignment, they can only charge a maximum of 115% more of an allowable charge. So the physician standard fee in this case is $130. And the TRICARE fee is $95. So the limiting charge that we need to figure out is going to be 115% of $95. So let's figure that out. So 95, not 6, 95 times 115% gives you 109.25. So 109.25 is what's going to go in the limiting charge. That means that that's all that the provider can collect, because they can only collect 115% of the approved amount, so, or of the allowable charge, and so, which is the same thing as the approved amount. So the total the provider can collect will also be 109.25. And then we need to figure out what TRICARE is going to pay of that. So we know that the limiting charge is going to be the basis for what TRICARE is going to pay. So we need to figure out what 80% of 109.25 is. So I'm going to take that 109.25, multiply, let me get that all out of there. So 109.25 times 0.8 is going to give me 87.40, and that's what TRICARE is going to pay the patient. And then the patient's out-of-pocket expense is going to be the difference between the 109.25 and the 87.40 that TRICARE paid. So it's their 20%. 87.40. And that's going to give us $21.85 that the patient is going to pay out of pocket. Now here's where things are a little bit different with TRICARE. The adjustment amount, or the provider's write-off amount, is going to be that instead of being $130 minus $95, because we can charge 115% of that allowable charge, the write-off amount is actually going to be the difference between $130, which is the charged amount, minus that limiting charge of 109.25. So that's going to give the provider a write-off amount of $20.75. So here's the deal. With these non-participating providers, just like we saw with Medicare and patients who saw a non-participating provider, there's a greater expense to both the physician and to the patient out of pocket for attending a non-participating provider, or for the provider to see a Medicare patient if they are not participating in the program. And the same holds true for TRICARE. It's a little bit less costly, but it's still expensive. It's still more expensive for both the patient and the provider if they are seeing a non-participating provider. Also, in the above two instances, let me type these in here. I was writing them down, so let me type these in here. So 109.25, 109.25, and 87.40. 40. Whew, you make my fingers work today. 21.85, and then lastly I think was 20.75. So we'll check all these in just a second, but the same holds true for participating and non-participating providers who accept assignment. So both of these have payments that will be mailed directly to a provider, and the patient up front will only pay their 20%. With non-participating providers, the patient pays that whole 109.25 up front, and then TRICARE will reimburse them 87.40 of that 109.25. So you kind of see how it's a little bit better to utilize a participating provider. Okay, let's check our work. Good there, good there, good there. Look at that, we are golden. Okay. If you guys have any questions, email me as always. Please keep them coming and let me know if you need anything. Talk to you soon.